Hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Work Boss podcast, where we share best practices in the workplace and how you can do things differently. I'm Izza, and I have Justin with me today. We are both from the digital marketing team at Digi-X, and both of us have been working full-time for about 2 years now since we graduated. So, on today's episode, we will be sharing our expectations versus reality of going into the workforce. We thought that this would be quite a fun and interesting topic to cover, as we are sure many can relate, especially those who have never done an internship before working full time. So, hopefully, we can break down some expectations and realities for you so that you can start your career on the right foot. All right, so hi, Justin.
Hello.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and start. So, what was your initial expectation of how the working life will be like before you stepped into, your first job?
I thought it would be very fun. Not to say that now it's not fun, but it's totally different because I think like when we're younger, when we always see our parents come home from work and then we're like, oh, wow, it's so fun to go to work. I'd rather go to work than go to school. I think a lot of us when we are younger we have that same mentality that oh, our parents go to work, they just go on the computer and then they just type on the computer and it's like so easy, and then you have to go to school, study, take exams, all these kind of things. So I think there was a different conception towards the working life, and when I go into the real working world and it's like, oh, it's not just typing on the computer, there's so many other stuff that is involved, and then only then you realize that, oh, I think school is much better than going to. I would rather go back to school than go to work. So that's why
Oh,
I think, yeah. So I think that my parents like always say, oh, you're gonna regret when you say this. So yeah. So I still
okay.
prefer going to school lah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I have like a different sort of perspective. I actually prefer the working life a lot more than school. I like school, I like studying and stuff, but then I just enjoy the working life more. So back when I was in uni, my expectation of like going to work was going to be, like in a corporate office, things that you usually see in like
Typical.
TV shows, yeah, typical TV shows and movies where you kind of have to wear like formal clothes and then you go to work and everybody's just like, professional, and there was no fun involved at all at work. Like that was my expectation. Like the idea of having like team building or like social or engagement activities within the workforce was something so new to me when I joined DG and Digi-X and realized that, oh, it's actually a thing to make your employees happy. Also, the employees just won't just go to work only and not, to make friends and have chit chat and all that. So that was a nice surprise when I entered DG, and then everybody was really nice and they really put an emphasis on how, to make their employees happy and so on and so forth. So that was kind of like my initial experience. Um, I also didn't think that I would be working somewhere where I could just wear casual clothes and wear jeans and sneakers to work. My initial thought of, like entering the workforce, I would have to buy all of these shirts and have to
Suits
iron
and
every day and
everything.
have to look super professional, maybe wear a tie, I don't know. But yeah, it's completely different. So that it won't be the same case for every company. But I think for
Yeah.
Justin and I, we joined DG, and then yeah, this is just the culture that we have, that we can wear casual clothes to work, which is really fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think for me, because like for my first job already, I it was like super casual already. You literally can wear short pants to work, slippers
Oh
and
my
everything.
god.
So for me, if I were to jump into a full formal setting, it will be a bit weird lah. So I'm more used to this like casual type of attire. So which I really appreciate. So I don't need to
Yeah.
waste time to go and iron, get more clothes and all these other things lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part, where we also have that flexibility. Like even if we want to dress up, we can, but we have
Yep.
the freedom not to. So that's fun, yeah. So I think after, if I ever do move jobs or anything, I would probably look for a place that has a casual work attire policy also, because I don't see myself dressing up formally
Yeah.
every day to work. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, cool. So moving on, did your expectations of the process of finding a job meet what you realistically experienced?
I think the expectations when I was still studying, like finding a job, would be very hard. Like because I think a lot of us usually hear, finding a job is so hard, getting an interview is so hard, and all these type of things. But I think as technology has advanced as well, and because we have so many available options and tools for us uh, to find a job, not just job street, we even have WOP and all these type of things that are actually catered more towards the younger generation who are looking for junior positions. So I think they really help to mix and match with the right employers and the right applicants. So of course it's hard to find a job, but you have to look at the right places. I think that is the number one thing I would say. Because for me, I went through, like, of course, a lot of multiple interviews, five, 6 interviews, but most of the time when we apply for it, I would say at least 50% of the people who I applied with replied with a yes or no, which is actually, I would say, pretty good, because I hear a lot of stories that people say, oh, I applied for 10 jobs and there's not even one person who replied to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think nowadays, especially maybe during the pandemic, more people are looking for jobs, and the competition might be much tougher. So you might have to put in more work to find the right job for you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for myself, I think when I was in my last semester at uni, I was really worrying, like, okay, how am I going to find a job? Where do I want to work? Having like a, graduating crisis, what to work, what to do. So, thankfully, I did my internship. I applied for an internship and did my internship at Digi, and I was a bit lucky that they were looking for a full-timer, and then I just got absorbed into the company. So if I have like any advice for people who have to do their internships as part of their university requirement, is to find a company that you already know that you want to work for, not just find a company just to, make sure you check off the internship checklist to graduate, but choose a company that you might see yourself working at, and that you enjoy the culture, you resonate with their values and their mission, and you just generally want to be in that industry. So that gives you like a head start of building your career, and it makes the job your job seeking process a lot simpler. So if you already enjoy working there as an intern, and by chance they are already looking for a full-timer, it's a lot easier for you to get absorbed. So in DG and Digi-X, actually I wouldn't say a lot, but some of our employees actually started off as interns. There's always opportunity to grow if you already perform and also choose the right company from the very beginning. So that was completely out of my expectations. I imagined what I would be like after I graduate, was I had to apply to so many companies, go on JobStreet, go on LinkedIn,
You
and just
were
talk to people.
lucky.
Yeah, I was extremely lucky. So I'm not taking that for granted, but it was completely out of my expectation. It was a really good process for me, lah. Very good. Okay, so once you entered the workforce, right, Justin, how do you think it affected your social life, and what do you do to make sure that you maintain a work-life balance?
I would say there wasn't much impact per se, because at the same time, it's quite similar to like just going to uni, like 9 to 6 lah. But at the same time, most of the social stuff that we do is usually at night, so it doesn't really affect much. Maybe it just affects that we have to push it later a bit at night. But most of the stuff that I do is usually just play badminton and hang out in the mamak, which we can't do now. So yeah, I really do miss it. But at the same time, I think it doesn't really impact much, because the places that I have worked in and work in currently as well, like Digi-X, we don't really practice overtime unless really needed. But at the same time, they don't really force you to work overtime. So that compared to maybe some different other jobs that have maybe night shifts and all, then maybe you might be impacted. But for us, it's just 9 to 6, done with work. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. So for me, there wasn't much impact towards my social life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think compared to some of my friends, I started working earlier than them. So while they were still kind of finishing up their last semester and they were still going out like during the day and during weekdays, I wasn't able to join anymore because right after my internship, I started working full time, right? So how I kind of balanced it is, just make a deal with them, like, okay, if you want to do something together, choose the weekend or choose like later, like after working hours, which
Yeah,
they
at
were
night.
so
Yeah,
kindly, yeah, to accommodate to like that request. So I think it's just communication in like all of your relationships, not just like friendships, is also very important. So if you want to hang out with them, if you want to have that work-life balance, communicate that you are working, you have things that you need to prioritize, and when you're available, and then just set a time lah, and see when you guys are available to hang out. So my social life wasn't very in the beginning. It was kind of impacted because I always felt, FOMO, fear of missing out, because all my friends would be going out during the daytime and then I was just busy working. But then eventually they all started working as well, and now we're all just busy during the weekdays. And we
yeah,
really just talk, in the WhatsApp group chats throughout the day if we need to rant or whatever. And then at night, and of course, like on weekends, we would have like game nights, have makan and all that. Now that the vaccine has rolled out, hopefully we can do more social activities. It was a very lonely 2020 and early 2021,
fingers crossed.
but yeah, fingers crossed. Thank goodness for technology lah. If not, I wouldn't know what people
Yeah,
in like the olden age would have done in our situation if there was a pandemic and they couldn't go out.
mail. They had to write mail,
Yeah,
postcard.
snail mail, and probably just wait for a week to get their letters. So okay. All right. So are the tasks that you're currently doing aligned with what you expected you would be doing after you graduated with a degree?
Um, Probably not. I would say I was pretty much clueless as what I wanted to do. I think before even taking my degree, I took foundation in arts because it's like a very vast scope that can cover a lot of things.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, let's see what I do. I don't even know what I want to take for my degree.
Yeah.
At first, I thought, I want to be like Steve Irwin, marine biologist. So when I told that my mom was like, "Are you serious?" Then she's like, "I know you won't be able to sit still in a lab to do any type of research and all this type of thing." Then I was like thinking to myself, "Yeah, I don't think so. I can do that." So then she said, "Why not I just take the most like the basic one
Mhm.
that if you don't really know what you want to do, why not just try to take mass comm and then you decide from there lah, because it covers a wide field of things from corporate
Mm.
communications, PR, digital marketing, even design and a lot." So I was
Mm.
like, okay, since I don't really know what my career path is, I'm not sure what I want to do in life. So I just took mass comm, and even in mass comm, I also was still very much like, oh, I don't know what I really want to do, because we have three different majors to choose from when we study, as corporate comms, public relations, and design.
Mm.
So I'm very bad at design. I cannot really draw anything. So that one was straight out already. And then
Yeah.
we had public relations. I don't really like to talk too much to and liaise with too many people. So that one
PR
also
was
was
out
tough.
also. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was left with corporate communications, which was
Yep.
like just very basic stuff, emails and all this other thing,
Mm.
communications, how to manage communications in a corporate setting, all these other things, very basic. So I just went with that lah.
Mm.
And uh, even after I graduated, still not 100% sure what I really wanted to do. Uh, so my first job was a Grab car driver. Yeah, so I just like spend some time, earn some money, before I even start to apply for jobs. I just drive for Grab, have some fun lah. Yeah, then only after that I think cause I had a strong interest in like entrepreneurship and like startup world and all. And this was way before the K drama startup and everything. Yeah. So I think then I found a media company that wrote about startups, and I was like, okay, why not I try content writing? So I think I started with that, and then that piqued my interest into digital marketing,
Mm.
which is like kind of what we are doing now in Digi-X. So uh, I think most of the people, I think a lot of people like when they say they finish graduating, they don't even know what they want to do. yeah, I think just go with the flow, find your interest and try to do something that is very similar to your interest. At least you won't hate your job. You know, I think the number one thing to stay in a job long is to not to say love what you do, but at least enjoy what you do, so that you don't wake up every day and just say, "Oh shit, I hate my job," or "I
Yeah.
hate doing this, hate doing that." Then that basically means like you're not even motivated to do anything. So
Mm.
even if you don't know what to do, try to do something that you're interested in that can earn money. Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
viable career. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So for me, after I finished my SPM, I was completely clueless as well. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't I remember my mom and my aunt, they brought like a few brochures of like different universities with all their course listings and sat me down at the dining table and said, you have to choose now. And I'm like, I was I was scared because I didn't know what to do with my future. And then obviously this is a very important decision to make. And even after looking at all of those brochures, I still couldn't decide. And then my mom was like, okay lah, I have a lot of friends who are in the HR space who are doing really well, and you seem like you would be doing well also if you did HR. So I was like, okay lah, without thinking twice, I was like, okay, let's just do human resource. So I took a bachelor in human capital management, which is super specific. It's not very vague also, it's just straight up HR. So
Yeah.
obviously after I did my diploma and degree in HR, I already saw like, okay, 10, 20 years from now, I will still be doing HR because that's all I know. That's all I learned. And then I did my internship in Digi, also in HR, did HR for a year. And then suddenly there was an opportunity that came up in Digi-X for digital marketing. They were looking for a digital marketing associate. And I have always been very interested in tech in general. Like I like electric cars, I like phone apps, I like learning about like the latest technology out there. So to me, working with like apps and all that was very interesting because Digi-X, we have 3 products that we are handling. So it's Omni, which is a virtual PABX system, iFleet, which is a fleet management system, and Alt HR, which is a super app for companies that we are building in-house and we manage it. And they are looking for a person to do digital marketing for those products. So I was like, wow, that sounds fun. But this is, thinking like, okay, I have zero knowledge of digital marketing. I don't even know what digital marketers do. But the opportunity was there. So I did a bit of research. I went for interviews. And surprisingly, I got the job. Again, got lucky. Don't know why they chose me. But so now I'm doing digital marketing. It's been almost, I think, about a year and a half since I started doing it. And it is completely different than what I thought I would be doing after I graduate, because I have a degree in HR, which is like completely different than what I'm doing now. But yeah, I think for fresh graduates out there, don't stress too much about what degree you have and that your job has to be completely related to your degree. There are people that I know who even have like law backgrounds, who are,
Yeah.
who have been called to the bar and can practice law, but it's just not what they want to do. So they ended up doing, they ended up being a product manager or even doing digital marketing. So there are so many people out there who graduated with a degree completely different to what they're doing now. So don't stress out about not finding that right job and that right fit for what you studied for. So for example, we also have like interns who graduated from like a finance background who is actually learning that he's actually interested in doing marketing. So yeah, my advice is choose what you want to do, kind of figure out what you're interested in, even though it's very vague, and try to find something that is related to what you like. Yeah, so that would be my advice. LinkedIn is a great place to kind of see what other people are doing, who the industry leaders are, and then you can kind of picture yourself of where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years and where you see yourself. So that can give you kind of like a plan or a roadmap of what to do and how to get there. So yeah,
Izza, where do
Justin,
you
do
see
you have
yourself
like
in 5 years?
in 5 years? I
Where do you
would
see
want
yourself
to
in 5 years?
be
Yeah.
okay. I would want to be a manager of some sort. I don't know if it's still going to be in digital marketing or not. I might want to also try out and be in like a product team, maybe. But yeah, I would really want to have a team. That's just always been like a goal of mine, to kind of like have a team that I can manage and see their growth and help inspire them. That's always been like a little dream. But yeah, how about you, Justin? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Uh, Hopefully by 5 years, probably running my own business already. By the yeah, that's
Wow.
the ultimate goal. Hopefully, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I think,
we'll see.
yeah, I want to run my own business, but I just don't know what business or where to start. There are a lot of successful people, even within DJ and Digi-X, that I look up to and see myself like, okay, I want to be where they are in like 5 to 10 years. Yeah. So we shall see. 2026. It's 2021 now. I'll hold you accountable to that, Justin. Okay, so that is actually all for today's episode of the podcast. We hope you had a great time listening to Justin and I ramble on about our expectations versus the actual reality of what we're doing in the workforce. If you are interested to catch more of us and also all the things that we share around being a boss at work, definitely keep a lookout for the next episode on the Work Boss podcast. We're available on Spotify and both Apple Podcasts. We'll see you again on the next episode. Thank you for listening and bye.